Yeah, what is up, guys? It's Shieldcoomer, your friendly local discipline priest main, and in this video we're gonna cover Larodar, Keeper of the Flame. Okay, guys, very simple boss. I want to say before I start, I just want to apologize for the poor quality. I was streaming this on YouTube and I was just gonna kind of like highlight it and make a video out of it. However, YouTube blocked it because I had some copyrighted music in it, so I have to watch it muted like this through my own YouTube like this, so the quality is going to be a little bit weaker than usual, so I do apologize for that, but I hope you will still be able to see like most of the things that matter to you. Comp for this, for us at least, was Holy Pala, 2 Holy Priests, and a Disc Priest. Ideally, you probably want to replace one of the Holy Priests with the Mistweaver, and the other Holy Priest is fine. You can also play Disc, you can also play almost anything really. Preservation Evoker also works just fine. I'm assuming that even Shaman is okay. Anyway, my ramp was assigned on start. Basically, the damage patterns for this fight are pretty straightforward, and because of that, I have played Shadow Fiend. I think this is one of the rare fights, actually, in which we play Shadow Fiend. You can probably get away with Mindbender and then just ramp for almost every jump. I think that's definitely something that is possible, but I've just kind of gone off of the logs and I played a build that basically my cooldowns were assigned for, so without really too much thought, I'll be honest, I didn't really prepare too much for this boss. I thought it's an easy boss, and I think most of my guild did, and we just kind of like stumbled upon him and spent a little bit more than we wanted to on it. Nothing too major, but it was a little bit of a more of a pushback than we thought. We took us a little bit more than usual. But yeah, basically what you really want to focus on here as a disc is I'll try to keep this concise. Usually I just wander off and talk about some nonsense, but I'll try to keep it concise. Obviously you're gonna ramp where you're assigned for. Ideally that's for jumps. Jumps are usually the highest damage, so just covering those jumps, especially during some of the dangerous overlaps, for example during soaks, those are the perfect moments for your ramp. Alternatively, you could ramp for, I don't know, Raging Inferno, but I don't really think that's something you would do if you have just a single disc. That's probably something you do if you have 2 discs, and then one would ramp for Raging Inferno, one for the other thing. You could also just mainly ramp for this anyway, outside of your ramps, like throw like a 3-4 Atonements, 2 Radiances, and there you go. If you're playing Mindbender, you can even use that. Anyhow, as you can see, the fight is pretty simple. I was assigned Seed on start, so I basically took the Seed. I would strongly urge you not to soak too much on this fight. As you can see there, I got saved. I think that was a Holy Pala ability, it looked like it. If you're soaking, we are currently pretty squishy. The priests are squishy, so I wouldn't recommend it. I personally tried to avoid it as much as I can. Obviously, if you're assigned to soak, I mean, but then just be ready to press some heavy defensives and externals. You can see here I was standing in fire a little bit too much. Basically, when you get this debuff, you really want to keep close to the fire to save as much space as possible, so I was really trying to do that, which did result me in standing in fire maybe a little bit too much at times, but you know, that's just how it is. I tried to play it like clean and disciplined. Two other things to focus outside of what I was just talking about. So one is obviously if you're doing seeds, focus on that. That's probably priority number 1. Priority number 2 is healing the brambles and keeping the treants alive. Surprisingly, Disc is actually pretty good for this. You could throw some radiance on them. You could also, I personally liked to just put atonements manually on them, although I'm not super good at that yet. But I did try to make it work. And then on the charred bramble, as you've seen, I've done like the ultimate penitence into the boss. I found it to be okay. My healing on that wasn't the highest, but that's also not why you bring Disc in the first place. But it is something that this can help with a little bit through atonements, or if you want, you can even funnel penances into it if you're really desperate. And flash heal, just be wary of your mana. If you spam flash heal, you're gonna very quickly, so that's just something to be aware of. Anyway, that's basically it for phase 1. At some point, you will push for phase 2. Now, for me personally, this is the best place for us to ramp in the whole fight because of the duration of the damage and also the type of damage that we are getting. It's raid-wide damage on everyone. However, my ramp wasn't assigned for this. We had some other cooldowns assigned for this. As I said, we had to adapt on the fly once we saw the boss is maybe a little bit more difficult than we thought, so, you know, things changed and stuff. Obviously, your guild will figure out what's best for you guys, what works. This, in my opinion, is a great place for disc ramp. This can probably solo heal this intermission, I would assume, if they're pretty geared and good at ramping. Maybe with a little bit of help, obviously. Not fully solo heal, but yeah, some externals and the disc should cover it. If not, make sure you do like your, you know, off ramp good, you know. Make sure you're throwing a few atonements into 2 radiances, into, again, if you're playing Mindbender, if you're playing Shadowfiend, you know, Shadowfiend if you can. If your ramp is assigned right after, then obviously you're not gonna Shadowfiend. It all depends on, you know, what what your requirements are that you have to figure out for yourself. Try to help with the spells. When I'm ramping, I don't dispel. It's a waste of global, but outside of that, I really did try to dispel. Luckily, my team is pretty good. Like, my full healers, as we put it, you know, they're pretty good at dispelling themselves, so I didn't really have too much to do there. But if you know, if there's a need for it, go for it. And yeah, as you can see here, pretty chill fight overall. Like, really, it's not that complicated. It gets hectic towards the end, but it's just something that just gotta be careful, right, with all these mechanics, especially here. Like, you don't want to heal people while they're still standing here and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it, guys. It's really, this last phase is just kind of more about the burn. You can see how chaotic it is. Like, I'm out of juice here. There's really not much I can do here, right? Like, again, this is why I was thinking about playing Mindbender. I think on Reclear I might give it a shot, even though in all, like, the quote-unquote top logs, I mean, not quote-unquote, all the top logs, I think they've been playing Shadowfiend, so I just kind of went off with that. But I do think that Mindbender here would be nice, although I'm noticing I'm only at 7% mana, which honestly, I probably wouldn't have mana to ramp too much, so that's kind of like the issue with Mindbender is, yes, you get more mana back, but also you spend more mana because you're ramping more often. So I don't know, I'll have to like think about it a little bit. This fight is pretty mana heavy because I'm also casting a lot of healing spells instead of just ramps. Yeah, that's the POV, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that the quality is a little bit wonky. You know, that's what happens when you're recording and watching the video through, like, watching the video on you know, on YouTube before it's rendered, but it is what it is. Not really anything I can do about that. I hope you guys found it helpful. And here, I'll let you guys see the kill, of course. That's it. Kind of sketchy loot as well, not gonna lie. Although these smoldering seedlings have turned out to be pretty good, but yeah, not for disc, I think. I don't think these are very good for disc. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you guys on the next video when we kill Smolderon. Copium.